What's going on, guys? Sebastian Esqueda here. So last year I ran a specific dropshipping strategy targeting specific countries that weren't English speaking, and I totally forgot about that strategy. So in this video I'm going to talk exactly about how I did it, how it was insanely profitable, and how you guys, if you speak another language, can do the same. So let's get into it, because this is a really foreign, no pun intended, because we're going to be running ads in different countries. It's going to be a foreign overall strategy, because it's not traditionally what you do when you're running a dropshipping store. You normally target the big five, which is US, UK, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand. Well, with this strategy, you run ads targeting like random countries. So for my instance, I had a store last year that I was running, scaled it to 6 figures, but I had ads that were performing extremely well in random countries like Qatar, Dubai, like random countries. And I saw that I could potentially run a store in these specific countries, and I didn't run them in these. I'm not going to say the countries I ran them in. I didn't think anything of it. I ran specific ads targeting those countries for my US-based store, and targeted Qatar and Dubai, English-speaking people there, and it did decent, but it wasn't until someone contacted me and was like, hey, Sebastian, these are my results. I'm having an average of 10 ROAS every single day, and I'm running my ads in this country. Let's make a store together and let's test this out and see if we could scale it. So I want to get into exactly what we did and why it was so profitable. So basically what happens is countries that aren't in the big five are not as used to seeing dropshipping ads as English speaking countries are. So for example, I'm sure Qatar doesn't have as many ads being ran in that country in relations to the US market, because of the fact that the US is a tried and true country that is very easy to target and get people to spend money on products online, whereas Qatar, I'm sure, is not a familiar country and is not as profitable. But here's the thing. So for the person that reached out to me and was like, yo, Seb, I'm doing really well with this foreign market thing, she lived in a different country. I'm not going to say her name or what country it was, because I don't want to give any of that information away. It's personal for her, so I'm going to keep that all private. But she reached out and was like, yo, Seb, I'm doing all this stuff. I have a 10 ROAS, and I was like, whoa, 10? I'm spending 30 grand a month and generating like 70, and I think that's good. So that was interesting to hear, and I was like, okay, well, show me the proof. And so she did. She showed me all of her Facebook ads and what the product she was selling was, everything like that. I already, like, all the products were the same products we were scaling in the United States. It's just she was selling them in a marketplace where no one had seen the product. So when they get hit with these ads, they're like, whoa, this is a cool product. Let's buy it, because I've never seen it in my life. Because everyone is dropshipping with English markets, or like selling to English speaking countries and English speakers. So all the ads are in English, which means these countries that don't speak English, when they see an English ad, they're like, I can't even read this. Why would I buy this product? But what she ended up doing was recreating ads and having people make them in her language, which was, I'm not going to say it, but it was a foreign language. And then she would run ads in that country with those specific foreign language, the foreign language text on the ad, which made it a very profitable campaign, because she was able to go laser specific in that one country and make a shit ton of money. Another thing she also had integrated was a afterpay type thing, where you buy a product and you get like 4 months to pay it all off. She did that because it was a lower GDP per capita country, which meant the people didn't have a crazy ton of money, but if they saw a cool product, they were usually willing to accept the payment plan, which was huge for her because, again, they didn't have much money. So that was overall the strategy, and that is something interesting, because a lot of people traditionally fight over the same pie. Everyone is targeting top 5 countries, US, UK, Canada, Australia, New Zealand. Everyone is fighting over this little circle when there's a whole world of people that we can target. People just don't like to go to the extra extent to target those countries and make custom ads with a different language, because that requires way more work. You're going to need to find a person who speaks, I don't know, whatever language is spoken in Qatar. You're going to need to find someone who speaks that language, who can then make you an ad and all of that stuff, which is a lot more work, which is why most people don't even do it, because they're lazy. But I was able to partner up with her and make a store and make a ton of sales with her. We ended up having to shut the store down because we had to do some payment processor things. I said the country. We actually had to do some payment processor setup things in the country we were running the store in, which led to some issues, which meant we had to shut the store down, which was unfortunate because we were profitable. But that's beside the point. I want you guys to think about this. Like, if you guys have ever wanted to try dropshipping or think it doesn't work, it still does. It's still very profitable, but think of doing this. If you know anyone who speaks a different language, contact them and see if they'd want to partner up with you, and you can give them, like, I don't know, a few percentage of whatever you make, and then they can create the store for you and create the ads as far as just translating the messages, and try it out, because we did. The ads went nuts. Like, the ROAS is unreal compared to the US market or the English speaking countries. It's unreal. Like, I saw it firsthand and I was like, what is this? Like, why are so many people fighting over such a small pie of getting a profitable ROAS at like 2 to 3? And that's very satisfying for normal marketers when you can go into these other countries and get 5 to 10 ROAS, which is nuts. That means every dollar you're spending, you're generating $10. In my profitable English speaking campaigns, I'm getting every dollar I spend, if I'm lucky, I get $2 back, which is profitable for me, and I'm excited with that. So it's just a different ball game. It's definitely something that requires way more work, but I think it still is an interesting thing that a lot of people should look into tapping into. I may end up wanting to do a case study with this and talk to someone in a different country and set this up, and just to show you guys that it still works, because it's very profitable. Like, it's stupid profitable. So if you guys want me to do that, let me know. I have connections with people who speak like Arabic, Spanish, a lot of other languages that would be willing to do this for me and help me set this all up, because personally I speak one language. I wish I spoke more, but that's where we're at right now. So that is going to be it for this video. It's a very weird topic. I know it's not like a traditional, here's a 24-hour challenge. It's not anything like that. It's just introducing a new topic for you guys. So I hope you guys did enjoy this video. I do have a few new concepts that I want to try out on YouTube. I'm going to do like maybe a 3 to 5 day challenge thing on YouTube where it's going to be with dropshipping. I'm going to try and make a dropshipping store in front of you guys live and then scale it on TikTok, which I haven't done that before yet. So I'm going to try to do that in front of you guys in like a day-to-day challenge. So it'll probably be like a 5-day series. So if you guys are excited for that, or actually want me to do that, let me know in the comment section below. And then I have some other things like that I want to do, because the longer videos tend to do better on my channel and they're more fun to make rather than this type of stuff. But sometimes I don't exactly know what to film, so then I just think of a concept and film it and see how it does. But definitely those challenge videos and like the 24-hour challenge, or like building a website in front of you guys live, those types of videos definitely perform well and way better than certain ones. So I definitely will start doing more of those videos because you guys seem to like them. But other than that, hope you guys did enjoy this little strategy I had. It's, again, something no one really talks about. I'm not sure if there's been any videos on this, but hope you guys did enjoy. And if you did, smash that like button, click subscribe if you haven't already, drop a comment if you do have anything to say. Other than that, I will see you guys in tomorrow's video. Peace.